Let me ask you a question. Do you really want to be like most people? Do you really want to be average? Just a little cog spinning around in the machine with no real thought about how you can actually experience the most incredible, abundant, soul-aligned life? Or do you want instead to manifest the results of your soul's unique purpose in this lifetime? You have to decide. Here's the truth. From the moment we are born, we are conditioned. School, media, the system, they tell us how to behave, fit in, and do a good job. But how often did you ever hear, discover who you are, become your most powerful self, bring your light to the world? Exactly, never. So if most people are not truly successful, if they're stressed, if they're unfulfilled, if they're overwhelmed and disconnected, then why would we want to do what they're doing? We do the opposite, beautiful. And that's precisely what I'm going to be discussing today. So the first thing, and this is going to be a really quick to the point episode, but I really just want to get you thinking about this. I was thinking about this last week. Firstly, we're going to stop seeking permission. You probably don't even know that you're doing this, but most people wait for someone to tell them that it's okay to go for it. If you're looking to change careers, if you're looking to start that business, take a leap in a certain direction, but you don't actually need permission. You just need clarity and you need courage. You decide, always. And part of this, probably most of this, is you are not only seeking permission, but you're seeking almost like that nod of approval. You are seeking the confirmation that this person, whoever they may be, whoever you've got in your mind, whoever this group or whoever it may be, will look at your decision, will look at your choices, will look at what you're doing and approve of it and actually say, yeah, that's cool. I like that. That's cool that she's doing this. This is good. The problem is that people, you think, you have, as I mentioned so many times, you've been conditioned your whole life to seek approval. That's how children learn. That's how human beings learn. They learn, like if your little baby's walking over to put their hand in the fire, and you say, no, and you pull them back, they learn that no means no, come back, don't do that. And when you say, oh, well done, good boy, you were listening, you did that all by yourself, obviously not going into the fire all by themselves, but then they start to do things, or you say, for example, oh, good girl, you made a healthy choice. It's like they're getting that dopamine hit from what you're saying. So obviously there are very positive ways that we can do this to affirm and to help them to live a healthy, safe, well-balanced life. And that's what your parents would have done for you too. But at the same time, there will have been other things that not necessarily your parents, but people that were coaching you, guiding you, mentoring you essentially, they would have frowned upon, which were very aligned to your soul's purpose. And you as a child, you never want to feel disowned. You never want to feel like you're not good enough, especially from your peer group and your parents, the people that you respect the most. So it's very important to understand that you are always seeking approval. And well, most people are, unless you have been categorically imprinted with a program whereby your parents told you, hey, this is your life, we're going to guide you, but there are people out there who are not going to want to see you succeed, who have their own agendas. You wouldn't say this to a young child or whatever. But unless you were made aware that this is your life, you have the power to make your own decisions, you have to balance the pros and cons, you have to use your inner guidance and your wisdom for this. You come to the people that you trust for guidance when necessary, or mentors that you know are experts in that particular area. Unless you were instilled with that sense of wisdom, you're just going to be seeking permission from everybody around you. And if you couple that with the fact that many people are very interested in what everyone else is doing and like to talk about that now and then, if you come from a background or a communities like that, then what you'll find is you'll feel very judged. And you feel very judged because you know that everyone's always judging everyone else. If you probably are not like that yourself. You're probably very driven, ambitious. Why? Because you don't have time to sit and gossip about people. Okay, you might even be repelled by it. You might even believe, like me, in karma. That's not the way that you want to live your life. So you're just not really necessarily interested in the drama. You would rather just be impartial to it, because when you're feeding into other drama that's going on, and when you're actually taking too much to do with that, it consumes you. It takes away your life force, your spark, and your energy. So you realize that it's actually not a big deal. And when it comes to stopping seeking permission, sometimes people actually have to remove themselves from an environment. I had to literally remove myself from an environment and move to another country to give myself the permission to be myself. I couldn't do that in the environment. I couldn't be free to make the choices I wanted. So therefore, what did I do? Okay, I need to be somewhere where I can be a completely unique person all on my own. I didn't want to be judged. I didn't want to be told what to do anymore, guided, even in the best possible way. It was like, no, I knew within me, this is time to move, to make the right decisions for you, and to, be yourself. And sometimes if you are in a particular environment, you can't be yourself. You just can't. So, and I'm not saying that you're not confident enough to. I just mean sometimes the resistance is way too much. If your interests, if who you want to be, if the way you want to live your life, if the opinions you have are in complete contrast to the environment that you live in, you cannot be successful in that environment. You need to take yourself out of that environment. And everyone's different, but that's the truth. Everyone has different ambitions, goals in life. Everybody has a different mindset. So if you really want to find your true self, you need to sometimes take yourself away and sometimes be in complete isolation to do that. And if you've got a family, it might not be as easy to do that, but it can still be done in certain ways, even short snapshots of time to help you connect with that. But we don't want to go off on a tangent too much here today. The key is essentially stop seeking permission. And that's it. If you want to be successful, you need to stop seeking permission, because the people you're seeking permission from are probably not even successful anyway in terms of what you want to achieve. Everyone's idea of success is different. So we can't stand by and say they are successful, they are not. It's like everyone is successful or not according to their own personal imprint that they were born with, in terms of their spirit, in terms of what they were born to achieve. So don't seek permission from people who have a life purpose which is absolutely nothing to do with your own. And that's it in a nutshell. Right. If everyone is doing something one way, I want you to pause. I want you to ask yourself, does this serve me? Or is this just programming? Do you know, in the past 5 years, there have been instances where people were persecuted, condemned, and essentially segregated from other people because they decided not to follow the crowd. You can let me know in the comments if you were subject to that. Do you know how brave some people have had to be to stand up and say no to... I'm not even going to go there. Do you know how brave some people had to be and how strong-willed some people had to be, where their family were pushing things on them, where everybody in their community was pushing things on them, where people were denied access to certain stores just because they didn't question things, and because they did question things, and because they didn't follow the crowd. And it's interesting how that unfolded, isn't it? When we see what actually happened, when we see people now having massive regrets over their decision to follow the crowd, and essentially having made irreparable changes to their own bodies because of following the crowd. I'll stop that there. You need to understand, and let that be an example to you. If everybody is doing something without question, or people are being swayed into doing something, and you've got that, I'm not saying just go do the opposite of everyone. I'm saying if you've got that feeling in your heart, I'm a very strong-willed person. What does that mean? That means my inner self, my inner compass is very, very, very strong. So I listen. I have very clear morals, and I listen and act upon them every single day. And I've been through so many situations in my life where I've had to build a backbone and had to not care what people think. That's the only way to be truly successful in yourself. To be able to make decisions knowing full well that you are not going to get any support for that, but you're going to do it anyway because you know it's part of your life's purpose. So being brave enough to walk a different path is the secret to success. You have to ask yourself, if you get that feeling, you know that you get that feeling, it's just like an alert going off inside your heart, and it's like, hey, it's like a warning. It's like, hey, this is an alert here. You're doing something wrong. Particularly if someone's asking you something or trying to get you to do something. You must be asking yourself, does this serve me, or is it just programming? Does it serve me? Does it serve my health, my wellness? Does it serve my higher purpose, my higher self? Does it serve my family? You need to be brave here. This is about radical alignment. It's not about approval. So if you start to live your life like this, when you're at home, when you're out and about, be that person who, it comes up in conversations for me so much, even with my nearest and dearest, where maybe something is said and I completely do not agree with what is being said. And it's like, that's not easy to, it's not easy to, firstly, go about things in a way that you're not arguing, but you are simply asserting you do not like the way perhaps that something is being said, or you do not believe in the thing, or you would like to give another perspective. Or maybe like you're around strong characters. If you're a strong person, you're going to be around strong characters. Have you ever been around strong characters who just want to dominate and assert their opinion, like, no, this is it. And you're like, no, it's not. And you just want to not argue, but like, look, I don't care, say what you want, but this is my opinion. Just, you need to, if you've got this strong character, it's good for you to listen to other opinions. There is truth and lies in everything. Everything is on a sliding scale. Everything. So you need to understand that, but it's all about questioning what's going on. And finally, you were born beautiful, as everyone is, with unique visions, desires, and talents. You know what? Most people suppress theirs. Most people don't even know fully what their talents are. But you're here to create impact, joy, and freedom for yourself, and you're here to amplify them. So the next time you feel an intuitive nudge to do something different, then honor it. That's your higher self leading you. So remember, you were born with a huge purpose. You were born to be incredible, amazing. You were born to shine, to sparkle. You were born to turn heads. You were born for people to say, wow, she is literally a genius at this. You are an expert in something. You are the go-to person in your environment for something, I promise you. But you're only ever going to find that when you start to honor your intuition. So I just want you to remember that, and I want you to take one step today. Because remember, success isn't about blending in. In fact, it's the complete opposite. It's about standing out in your full truth, your full power, and your presence. So let me know in the comments, what is your gift, or how are you going about finding your gift? Not, I don't know my gift. That's not the type of women we are. We are the women who say, I am doing this to find my gifts. Just lean into what you're excited about, what you love, and everything will unfold. And if you're ready to break free from people pleasing, from approval addiction, and the old conditioning that's kept you small, if you're ready to start doing the opposite but you don't have the confidence, I'm giving you right now a call to action. I want you to take action. I want you to do something. I want you to tell me what you're doing in the comments right now. That's your call. I want you to hear this loud and clear. I want you to go into the comments and tell me right now what you are doing to expand, to improve, to develop your confidence so that you can be your higher self. What are you going to be doing right now that seems to be like the opposite? And if you are ready to see where your energy is leaking, where your soul is being dimmed by duty, where people pleasing is just going to be ancient history, and you're ready to totally abandon and shift the mindset, the old conditioning that's kept you small, then you can grab the Spark Activation, and the link will be in the description for that. The Spark Activation, it's your personalized video deep dive that I prepare just for you into exactly what's holding you back and how you can powerfully move forward into living your ultimate best life. So let me know in the comments what you're doing to do the opposite. And I hope to see you in the next video. Make sure you have liked the video, you've subscribed to the channel, and I'll see you in the next one or in the Spark Activation. Bye, beautiful.